All right, welcome back. It's a beautiful fall day here at Gateway. We're not outside, maybe we should be, but we are so lucky to have Mrs. Kelly Fink here with us. Kelly, what do you do here at Gateway Woods?
I am in a newly created position called LARC Systems Coordinator. And basically I just organize the troops.
Okay.
They do what LARC does and I organize and keep track of files and paperwork.
Okay, so LARC's been around for a little while, but some people might still not know what LARC means. Have you got that memorized yet?
It's this long and no.
So
I know what we do.
Try to do it. So linking to attain responsibility in the community. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right. You're better
So,
than I.
Community connections is kind of like what we're trying to do there. So speaking to that a little bit, because I'm on the outside looking in, have you seen? How long, I guess, you've been in this position?
About 4 months now.
Okay, so what have you seen in this 4 months?
I believe what we're trying to do is to keep the kids who are no longer actually at Gateway Woods, foster kids that turn 18, kids that graduate from the program, kids that get off of probation and are allowed to go out into the real world. We're trying to make connections for them so that their lives can be fulfilling and meet them up with people who can guide them spiritually, mentally, emotionally, not financially, but assist in showing them and helping them with the resources to find jobs and to find, it's not like a handout, it's more like a help up.
Sure.
So we've coupled with churches, businesses with jobs. Quite a number of people are helping us out with jobs. Right now there's a big push to get new mentors.
Okay.
So the kids that are looking for a mentor can be hooked up with somebody who can show them Jesus really, how to walk and talk that way.
Yeah.
It's just an exciting new program, and Willowbridge was one of the reasons why I was drawn to the Gateway community in the first place, because it's a need. It's been a huge need for forever.
Yeah.
Kicking a kid out of foster care when they're 18. What do you know when you're 18?
Sure.
You know just about nothing. So this is going to help give them that middle step to have successful lives.
Yeah. No, that's really great. So Willowbridge isn't open yet. Do we have kind of a soft timetable here?
I'm thinking that it's going to be open. I know we're going over Saturday to do some cleaning up, so I'm thinking it's going to be really soon. I don't have a hard date yet.
Sure.
But I'm thinking within the next couple weeks.
Very good. And so do we have some kids? I mean, obviously you don't have to disclose who they are, but do we have, there's 8 to 9 beds available, right? Depending on kind of how it's structured. Do we have some kids like ready to go today?
I believe so. I
Okay.
think I know of 3 for sure, and
Okay.
I know there's a lot of kids that are interested, but I don't know the logistics. That's a Rob question.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, he's spoken to it a little bit, but since you're the systems coordinator, I didn't know if you had a little bit more of that logistical
Nope, not
knowledge.
yet.
Okay. So you're the LARC systems coordinator. So are you working any with Willowbridge? Or because I know it's kind of under the LARC umbrella, but how does that work?
Not so much. Just paperwork.
Yeah.
Keep taking the mentors in and doing all the paperwork that goes along with that. But no, I don't have much to do with the Willowbridge. I would like to.
Sure.
And once that's rolling, I suspect that will become part, paperwork-wise,
Yeah.
of my position as well. But we're waiting. We're waiting to see how it rolls out.
Very good. So we'll come back to that. So we just had the auction it's a little while ago yet, but this was your first auction on staff. So speaking to that, like what was that day like for you?
It's incredible. I can't even begin to imagine how anything that big happens so smoothly. It was like ants that know what they're doing running around. Everything worked.
Yeah.
Everything was smooth. it was amazing. It's overwhelming. It's huge.
Yeah, no, I'm overwhelmed and thank God. I mean, just that it all comes together. Being on the committee, I mean, I've kind of in it from the minute that it starts, like all year. And there's a lot of stress, anxiety, like, is this going to happen? But there's been now 43 years where I haven't seen all 43 of those years, but God has been there. People show up, the items are there, and it's really cool. So
It's amazing. Just God's still in the miracle business as far as I'm concerned, and that's a miracle how it works the way it does.
yeah,
It's exciting.
thankful that people are still engaged with it, and because it's a very vital part of Gateway, just from a fundraising, but just even awareness, getting people on campus, kind of seeing it.
The fact that people come from so far, and the tags on some of the items are from clear across the country. People donate stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of neat.
And last year was your first ever auction, right?
Yes, and I was thinking it was like an auction that you go to in Fort Wayne, where it's a little building and there's one guy and there's a bunch of chairs. And I walked up. Victor was involved in it, and I walked up and I saw 3 huge tents. And I started walking around and I'm like, you did not tell me that it was like this. Wow! And all the things.
yeah,
Brand new items. Auctions usually are stuff people don't want.
sure.
But this is all brand new stuff. It's really exciting.
Yeah. So let's rewind the clock a little bit. You're wearing a Gateway Woods shirt. So when was the first time that you ever heard of Gateway Woods? If you can pinpoint
Probably a year and a half or 2 years ago.
that. Okay.
Shortly after I started attending Leo Apostolic with my son.
Okay.
I had heard of it because he was kind of involved
Sure.
doing things.
So then what led you guys to the greater Leo community? Was it through your son Victor?
Yes.
Okay. And that was through connections with friends?
Theater.
Theater, okay.
Yes. He's homeschooled
Mm-hmm.
and he was in the Fire and Light
Okay.
theater and met Connor and Mariah, and so he started coming to church with them and got involved, and so then I started coming to church with him.
Very good. So, and where are you originally from? Fort Wayne?
I'm from Fort Wayne,
Okay.
born and raised Nazarene.
Okay.
My father's a minister of music in the Nazarene church, so, and that's where they're still at.
Okay. Very good. And so then you have Victor, and then you have any other children?
Seth, he has an older brother, Seth.
Okay. And where's he at?
He's here in Fort Wayne, he and his wife.
Very good. So, working here at LARC and the systems coordinator, what has been something that God's just really kind of opened your eyes with? Could be good or bad, but just like what is something He's taught you?
So many things. We don't have all day. To believe that he hears what we ask for and that he's going to answer. The world doesn't believe that prayer works. You hear it on the news. We don't want your prayers. We want you to do something about this. And I'm here to tell you, prayer works. I've seen so many miracles in my life, not just since I've been here, but I've seen so many miracles in my life that it's exciting to see what he's doing here.
Yeah.
Growing. How many people that you had just last year to how many people are employed here now.
Yeah.
Is kind of exciting to be part of. God's work. That's what I want to do. Empty nester. So now I can work with more kids.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, working with the kids, when they come into the LARC office, kind of go through their vetting process of being interviewed, maybe getting a mentor, what has been kind of, from your perspective, to see these kids, do they generally like the LARC program and they want to be a part of it, or is it just, again, hey, I'm here, I'll just take advantage of this opportunity?
Well, I think there's probably a mixture of both, but more leaning towards they ask for a mentor. We don't we don't make them do that,
Sure.
be in our program. They ask to be in
Yeah.
our program. So I think a lot of them are very excited to have somebody that cares about them,
Mhm.
because that's not something that a lot of the kids have, is somebody who really cares about them.
Sure.
So I think it's more, they're excited, ready to move
Yeah.
on with it, which is why we need more mentors. Spread the word. We need more mentors. If you want to speak the Lord to these kids, if that is anything that would make someone happy, then please contact us, because we need more mentors. We got kids waiting right now for mentors.
So speak into that a little bit. Like, what are some basic requirements to be a mentor?
Well, all I know about the process is what I have to do as far as making sure that they're okay to work with our kids
Mhm.
one-on-one. I don't really know what Rob and Christy and Trayvon and Julie require or tell them. I'm not the one to speak to that, I think.
More often than not, you're not turning people away, so there's not
No.
a whole lot of
Correct.
hurdles to jump over. So,
Correct.
Okay, very good. Emily, do you have any questions, or is there anybody that have chimed in?
No.
Okay, so speaking of clowning a little bit, because you told me some really cool stories. I remember at a potluck about the real Patch Adams, right?
Yes.
So yeah, share a little bit of how you got into that and just what that is.
Okay, well, I'm a licensed activities director for nursing home facilities, and we have to get educational CEUs to continue with your license. Everybody that has a license has to do that. So they throw 2 times a year. You go to Indianapolis or Illinois and have a seminar all weekend.
Okay.
And then you can use all that information for your CEUs. Well, this particular themed one was clowning.
Okay.
So I went to Indy for the weekend, and the very first thing they did when we all got into the room was turn off the lights and show the movie Patch Adams. And then they turned the lights on and said, well, we have a special guest. And one of the 4 doctors that are in the Gesundheit Institute was there doing a presentation. And so he's doing his presentation on the stage. There's like 400 people watching. And he's showing pictures of a place called Belén, and it's in South America, in Peru, way out in the middle of the jungle. The only way you can get there is by a plane, because there's no roads to get there. Or you could go down the Amazon River, but it'd be a long trip.
And pretty dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. And he's showing pictures of this festival that they put on every year. It's called the annual Belén Festival, and it's on the Amazon River. And all the things they do, he's telling stories about it. And I'm weeping because it was just really amazing what he's doing. And so he keeps looking at me. He doesn't know me. And I'm bawling. So about 45 minutes into his little spiel, he says, excuse me, everybody. And he puts it on pause. And he comes down off the stage and kneels in front of me. I'm freaking out at this point. And he takes my hand and he says, you get this, don't you? And I said, yes, sir, I do. And he grabs me by the shoulders and he shakes me. He says, no, you get this, don't you? And I just burst out. He said, you are Patch Adams' clown. Patch will call you tomorrow and we'll set it up. You're coming with us to Belén. Shaking, I'm like, okay. And so I went. Didn't know anybody. And went, and it was, you go on mission trips. I'm sure if you've ever been on a mission trip, you know that you go thinking that you're going to change the world, you're going to help everybody, and you're going to make everything better. And it changed me. It changed me completely. And that, I had been on mission trips before, but this is special. This is loving people who you can't even really communicate with. I can't speak Spanish, but I go there every year, and those kids love me, and I know them, and we can communicate other ways. So we're goofy, and we play, and we dress funny, and I've had a lot of really, really fun experiences with it. So I love doing it, and we go all over, not just there. We don't do any clowning in the United States. Although I have been asked to do that a couple of times. And I have acquiesced. But I have lots of ministries. I do tea parties at nursing homes. We set up tables and vintage linen and real napkins and teacups, china, and I give them gloves and give them lots of choices of teas, and we just have community. I try to have one of us with 3.
Okay.
So we try to do little intimate groups of 4 and just get to know them. And they in turn get to know each other. So then when we leave, they have their table mates that now they know more about, and they have friends. So I love doing that too. But
that's really cool. So from what I'm seeing and what I'm sensing and what I've already known about you is you love people and you love to give back, and you're just a giver, and so that's really good.
I've always said that to those God gives much, much is required. And that's how I try to live my life.
Wow.
He's blessed me.
Thank you. And Gateway's blessed to have you here.
Thank you.
Your passion and just, your love for others. So the Hogga Jog, I'm looking at a picture, people can't see the calendar. And so the Hogga Jog's coming up here in October. And I know that you've been a part of that at least once. Explain to somebody why they should come and be a part of the Hogga Jog.
Because it's
were you running or walking?
really fun. I was walking.
Yeah, so you don't have to run. I mean, I'm not a runner. I'm going to try this year with some of my boys, but I don't know how much I'll actually be running or trying to keep them motivated. But so it's not always just for runners. So, okay.
The runners usually go ahead, and then the walkers will follow up behind them and give them high fives as they come back the opposite direction. It's just really a lot of fun getting to know each other, and of course we're making money for Gateway, which is something we need to do, but then there's food afterwards, so you get to eat, and a lot of people put a lot of work into it. It's really fun. I this year will admit that I have bought ears and a nose and a tail to enjoy extra kind of clowning.
Well, we do have like a logo wall that you can take pictures and stuff, so you can have some group photos.
That'll be fun.
That, so people might be wanting to ask to borrow your tail or whatever.
I'll get more if people like them.
Very good. So so it's a fun event. There's free food afterwards, and just a great way to get to know people and see the campus of Gateway if you haven't ever been here before, or if you have. On auction day, it's going to be different, so it's always nice to see it from a different light. And the course, speak to the course a little bit. How did you enjoy that? To me, it seems safe because you're never crossing a road, and
I love it. It's a nice, easy walk if you're walking, and I can't speak to the running part because running doesn't appeal to me. But you just go. It's nice also because there's cars coming by honking, and there's neighbors coming out watching what's happening, and you can talk to people, especially if you're walking. But they get pretty serious about their running too.
Sure.
I think they're pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But come and join us. It's fun.
Yeah. So October 19th, the Hogga Jog. Register today at our website. So, is there anything else that you would like to address here before we come to a close here shortly?
God is good all the time.
Amen. So I'm going to ask you one more question. So, is there anything in your job that gives you pause or anxiety? Or is it just a really great?
I'm a perfectionist, so I kind of get caught up in the details, so I sometimes am nervous that I'm not doing it exactly the way it needs to be done. Also because it's a new position.
Sure.
There was no real guidelines as to say this is what you're supposed to do, so it's kind of go along. I'm doing it as I go along. I wasn't thrilled that we used Apple because I'm not used to that.
Sure.
But I'm getting used to it thanks to Emily and a little tutorial. I'm getting better at it. But really, no, everybody's great.
Good.
Everybody's helpful, answers questions. Just my own inadequacies maybe gives me pause.
Okay. We all have those. So.
What's your
What
favorite
stresses
part of your
you?
job?
Oh, there's so many things. I think it's the feeling of family.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm an empty nester, so I'm alone at home. My husband works in Texas, and it's the feeling of family. We're really family, and you can do things with each other and inside and outside of work, which is really nice. The community part of it. Practicing what they preach, that's kind of cool.
Very good. Thanks for sharing, and let you get back to work on your Apple computer.
I hope you're not showing this to Apple.
So, as you heard from Kelly, come over to the Hog and Jog. If you have interest in being a mentor, we definitely need that as well. We still have openings for house parents and assistant. So, if you're interested in that, or if you know people, but as also Kelly mentioned, prayer works. So, if you can't come to any of those things, please pray with us for any of those things, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.